Hey YouTube, I'm here to do my spoiler review of Godzilla. So if you haven't seen it yet, click watch later and watch this after you've seen it. Um, just a bit of a backstory. I've been a huge Godzilla fan. I've seen most of the Godzilla films, and there has actually been 30 so far. Godzilla is the franchise that has the most films. A close second is James Bond. Once again, Godzilla is 30 films, very much ranging in quality, and if you haven't ever seen a Godzilla film before you saw this one, well, first off, that's a good thing because you didn't see the '98 Godzilla. But secondly, you may not understand the Godzilla character, and you may not understand the format of the movie. And with that being said, as I said in my top 5 movies of this year, Godzilla was my number 1, and I stated the reason why was because of the redemption factor, and it absolutely has redeemed itself. Americans have absolutely redeemed themselves from the debacle that the '98 Emmerich film was. And I don't know if you guys know how bad that movie actually was. There's two sides to it. Talking about the '98 Godzilla. One side is it is just a good disaster film that just kind of pokes fun at Godzilla, and the other side is this completely departed from the original source material. Maybe because of licensing, but the reason why this is so the Emmerich film, the '98 Emmerich film, is so bad, is because of the Japanese response. Literally, the Japanese, after this happened, hated Hollywood for doing what they did to Godzilla. Godzilla is like their baby, their baseball. That's their product. That one of their only products that is entertainment products that is recognized internationally. I mean, many say anime is like their product, but Godzilla goes back to the 50s in terms of film production, and Godzilla is an absolutely internationally recognized character. So yeah, Japanese were very untrustworthy when it came to trusting Americans with Godzilla again. Now to get into Gareth Edwards' this 2014 legendary film. Holy wow. Schmoes Know did a review, and they summed it up pretty much perfectly. They said there are either people who like it and had some things wrong with it, or absolutely love it. And I will talk about why some people like it, and I will say why I absolutely love it. First and foremost, why I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it because of so many elements. Like I have a cinema and TV degree, so I appreciate certain things that other people do not. I appreciate the aesthetics, the smoothness of how things run together, cinematography, sound, score, directing, and all those come together very beautifully in this film. I think that the score, the cinematography, the sound, and the special effects are all Oscar worthy in this film. And you have movies like Gravity, which are good for all those reasons, and then you have movies that are like Pacific Rim, which are just monsters fighting for 2 hours. Godzilla is not monsters fighting for 2 hours. So if you haven't seen it, don't expect Pacific Rim, which is just monsters fighting for 2 hours. Godzilla more takes the route of Jaws or Jurassic Park. Um, it builds suspense, and it utilizes a lot of cinematic elements to do that. Um, Jurassic Park alone has 4 homages I can think of off the top of my head. At the very beginning, helicopter flying in over an island. Actually, 5. Very beginning, helicopter flying in over an island. And then the helicopter that's flying in is an expert in something going to meet the owner of a mine. That was the very beginning of Jurassic Park. Verbatim, the same at the beginning. And then you have the Muto breaking the cable like the Tyrannosaurus in Jurassic Park. Then you have the squeaking... no, okay, that was after... But you have the squeaking of the windshield to see Jurassic Park. Then you have the scene that actually was a lot of people's, and maybe even my favorite scene in the movie, which is where Gareth Edwards is on the very tall bridge, and underneath him is the Muto crawling. And then the soldier with him, his radio's going off and his flashlight is on, and the monster is following this radio noise and finds him because of the radio noise. Just like, turn the light off! Turn the light off! In Jurassic Park. Yeah, and so I'll make a departure from this just rant of how awesome this is to get into why certain people liked it. First and foremost, if you haven't seen it yet, spoiler alert, Bryan Cranston dies 20 minutes in. Or no, half an hour in, something like that. And a lot of people were pissed off because Bryan Cranston was absolutely the strongest character in this film. Because he is a tremendously amazing character actor, and even actor with emotion. And he jump-started this movie, and it really felt like he was going to drive this whole film. And then after Cranston dies, it's left with Aaron Taylor Johnson as the lead, which from the beginning I could tell that Aaron Taylor Johnson was going to be the lead because of cinematic language. Aaron Taylor Johnson was the child in the beginning that it started with, and he's like, "Mom, can we surprise him on his birthday?" And then, the mother's like, "Okay, he's very busy, we're going to try." And then after the plant explodes, it pans to Aaron Taylor Johnson as a child, his character as a child, looking at the plant exploding and freaking out. And then the very next cut is Aaron Taylor Johnson again landing up on a plane dressed up as a Army Ranger. So it's like, oh, okay, so Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to carry this whole film. So I got that right away. And one of the biggest complaints is Aaron Taylor Johnson is weak compared to Bryan Cranston, which is true. But I was okay with that because the majority of the Godzilla movies, they're not carried by great acting. They're carried by the suspense of the lives of millions of people being at stake. And people are really comparing apples and oranges when it comes to standards with this. They're like, oh my gosh, why can't this movie have every element be perfect when it comes to that? And the reality is, Aaron Taylor Johnson's performance was better than what you'd expect from a monster movie. So I don't knock it that many points when it comes to performance. Another problem people have, and this is one I absolutely disagree with, is they're saying Godzilla isn't in it enough. And that brings me back to the point of, this isn't Pacific Rim, this is Godzilla. Have you ever seen a monster movie? If not, then there's something in my teeth. If not, then we're so spoiled nowadays by movies like the movie I just reviewed, Captain America: Winter Soldier, non-stop action. It is an amazing film, but literally non-stop action. And you're comparing non-stop action movies to movies that are an experience because of the suspense you're experiencing in the film. Jaws would have been terrible if Jaws was in the whole movie. I mean, in Jurassic Park, for example, Godzilla was in Godzilla more than dinosaurs were in Jurassic Park. Dinosaurs were in Jurassic Park for 15 minutes. Godzilla was probably in Godzilla for a full half hour. Yet, Godzilla is one of the greatest movies of all time. But why is that? It's because Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum are both great actors who can carry a film. If Aaron Taylor Johnson was a little bit stronger, it wouldn't have been that much of a problem. And on to Godzilla, what this does well is the payoff. Is it, it makes you wait, and the wait is absolutely worth it. And I don't mind that I don't see Godzilla till the end, because that's what I expect. It's a Godzilla film. I'm just used to it. I know how they do this. And I'm not comparing this to necessarily the old Toho films. I'm comparing this to the highest standard. The oldest Toho film I'll compare it to. The highest standard, which is the 54 Godzilla. The 54 Godzilla, it is a long movie, but why the 54 Godzilla is amazing is because of how you see Godzilla has affected the people and how much suffering you can see. The 54 Godzilla, I don't know if you guys know, but was created to show audiences the hugely negative effect the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki had on the Japanese people. The amount of suffering you see on that was supposed to emulate and demonstrate how much harm nuclear arms has done, and that's something Godzilla has always been for its entire history, is raising awareness of the dangers of nuclear arms. And there was a perfect homage to that in Godzilla when it came to Ken Watanabe with "This watch is stuck at 8:15 in the morning, and it was found in Hiroshima," and then or something, and then the general's like, "Oh, oh my gosh, your dad was in Hiroshima. I'm so sorry, but you got to nuke San Francisco. What's one city compared to the rest of the entire world?" And just get into the whole nuclear arms thing. Okay, Aaron Taylor Johnson, I guess, is the only EOD tech left. So there's no one left who can defuse a bomb. Yet we're gonna take a nuke and put it in the middle of San Francisco. And if it's a big nuke, the Bay Area, which is where I live, metropolitan area with 7 million people, and we're gonna arm this nuke, not with electronics, with keys, because these mutos have EMPs and everything. And, oh yeah, let's just not bring someone in case we need to disarm it. Because we know Godzilla's coming, and Ken Watanabe, the expert over here, is saying Godzilla is someone who will just maintain order in the world and kill these two monsters and then go away. And we're just going to arm this nuke and we're going to leave it here to kill 7 million people. I guess that is a tactical move, but the fact that you wouldn't look for someone to disarm it, and then when you do find someone, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and they get there, and then and then they have to go and disarm it. There's 27 minutes left on the nuke, and it's time for Aaron Taylor Johnson to disarm it. And then they're like, "Oh, we can't get it open. There's 27 minutes left. We have to run it to a boat, and then push that boat out into the ocean." Aaron Taylor Johnson said he could defuse it in a minute, yet these guys decide, okay, let's run this gigantic nuke out of the city while these monsters above us are fighting, and then put it on a boat and then float it out into the bay and expect that to save anyone. The nuclear fallout alone would kill, most of us. Yeah, that was my biggest gripe about this movie. Another logic fail was Cranston and Johnson are sneaking around in I guess Tokyo, the quarantine zone, and they get caught. And instead of bringing them to a police station, they bring them into the power plant where Ken Watanabe is. Maybe he told them in Japanese, I know what's going on. I got to tell people about the monster being here. But at the same time, it's like, well, either, wow, I'm going to take you into where everything's happening or I think the logical thing would be, no, you're just some crazy white person who's lying to me. So those are two big gripes I have on it. But regardless of that, it did not destroy the movie for me. It wasn't like the Roland Emmerich film where everything was just taken lightheartedly and Godzilla was just coming to, well, or Zilla, they didn't even call it Godzilla, was just coming to New York to eat tuna, and then he dies at the end. They killed Godzilla at the end of Zilla. And people say, like, well, it's just like, they did that in 95, Godzilla vs. Destroyer, Godzilla Jr. becomes Godzilla. Like, no, you don't do that in Godzilla 1, because there's no sequel at the end of the movie. Especially when that's terrible. Apparently, also, the Emmerich film made money. It still made money, but it's like I can't use it nowadays example, but it's the kind of movie where you watch and you say, well, I was entertained, but there's a very bad taste in my mouth at the end of it. And Godzilla, if you haven't seen it yet, which I probably ruined a lot of it for you, this Godzilla movie, there is no bad taste. Even if you were pissed off that Cranston died, and even if you had my same gripes, and even if you weren't a fan of Aaron Taylor Johnson's performance, it's not going to kill the movie. Because cinematically, Godzilla will have you awestruck. And then the atomic ray, and just how Godzilla beats these Mutos. It was just like the best thing I could the fight scene at the end I can probably best equate it to is like the 93 Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, where even King Ghidorah becomes Mega King Ghidorah. Godzilla is really strong, and he gets the shit beat out of him in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in the 93 Heisei version. And Godzilla still wins. In this movie, they try and fake you out one too many times, but they try and show you that Godzilla has something called the G factor, as to where Godzilla is like Wolverine. You can kill Godzilla and he will still regenerate and come back and kill you. And that's why Godzilla is so incredibly awesome. Not that he has really durable skin, or he weighs 100,000 metric tons, or he's taller than the Titanic. He's probably not taller than the Titanic. He's not taller than the Titanic. But it's just, Godzilla is amazing because he has all these abilities. The atomic ray, a healing factor. Godzilla is extremely intelligent and has amazing fighting abilities. Yeah. And so, on to my final point, just to wrap this up with around 20 minutes, is Godzilla 2 has been confirmed. And Gareth Edwards mentioned, well, maybe it was Gareth Edwards. Someone mentioned it could be like Destroy All Monsters. Destroy All Monsters was how it sounds. It's Godzilla and all his kaijus that were created by Toho duke it out all over the world. And it's like Final Wars as well. But I hope they don't go that far, because we haven't been introduced to any of the other monsters that Toho has. We haven't been introduced to Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, Gigan, Titanosaurus. We haven't been introduced to any of the other monsters. Anger's And I would hope that it would maybe be one or two monsters of that Toho has. I would like to see Anguirus. I would like to see Rodan. I would like to see. I don't know about Mothra. I think Mothra would be hard to do. They did have a reference to Mothra in the movie on a poster on the wall, and they did have a reference to Rodan with origami things in the movie. It had a lot of references to Godzilla, Jaws, Jurassic Park, and it was all beautifully done. Here's my thing also about Godzilla 2. I hope Aaron Taylor Johnson doesn't lead it. Emily Olsen, well, is that her name? Yeah, Emily Olsen, the younger sister of the Olsen twins. I hope that if they don't bring Aaron Taylor Johnson back, I hope they don't bring her back. But she was good too. She was good. She was second to Cranston in terms of quality. I was disappointed in Ken Watanabe a bit, but that's because he just served a purpose of being the guiding light, so to speak. But now I'm just starting to ramble because there's just so much to say about this movie. If I were to grade it, I'd give it an A-. I would say it is one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. And I did say it would be my favorite, and it is my favorite. I did like it more than Winter Soldier. Because it's more near and dear to my heart. I'm a big Godzilla fan, and it delivered. And in Winter Soldier, I knew was going to be good. And Godzilla, there was always concern. Yeah, that's it about it for my review. Last tidbit, producing web series, episode 1 has been posted, and I provided a link below. So if you want to check it out, click it to see it. And yeah, I guess that's it for me. I'm actually going to see it again tomorrow. But I did see Winter Soldier twice. So I really got to, you know what? I guess here's just random. Yeah, anyways, I'll just end it here. See you next time.